I'm driving 3,000 kilometers to Colorado to see if I can do a trick on my snowboard that I used to be able to do 4 years ago. Once I arrive, I will only have 5 days to get it done, providing the 3-day drive goes to plan. The plan is to make the drive in 3 days, if all goes well. Our first stop is in Holiday City, Ohio, which has been an eventful place for me in the past. This hotel room right here behind me was my home for a week back in January of 2020. Back in January of 2020, my buddy and I were heading out to Copper for a month of training to get ready for some contests when we got hit by a semi-truck, which forced us to spend a week here in Holiday City. It's basically 2 hotels, a truck stop, and a family diner. Not much of a city, or a place for a holiday. After completing the second day of driving, we made our next stop in York, Nebraska. Accompanying me is my girlfriend, who is my filmer for the trip. Our goal is to get a really good shot of me doing a frontside 720 in Copper Mountain superpipe. A superpipe is a halfpipe that is 22 feet tall, 60 feet wide, and 18 degrees steep. It's these halfpipes that you'll find at the Olympics, X Games, and other professional events.
Are you there yet?
After completing the third and final day of our drive, it felt good to arrive at our Airbnb in Leadville, which is not too far from Copper. Even though it's currently January, I've only been snowboarding 3 times this year due to the warm weather back home, and that was before Christmas. Usually this time of year, I've been snowboarding frequently since mid-November, and my body is good and warm. So I had to take the first few days of the trip just to ride and warm up before trying anything in the pipe, which isn't really how I wanted this trip to start out. I was hoping to get here good and warm, and just be able to get to work right off. Instead, I had to take the time to get comfortable again on my board, which kinda resulted in losing some valuable time. With my body finally good and warm, it's time for me to get to work. I only have 2 days left to get my trick, which should be plenty of time since back when I was riding pipe frequently, this was my favorite trick to do. This clip is going to serve as a souvenir of my competition days, since I don't really have much footage from back then. With the first day over, without landing a single front 7, I was reminded how in this sport, skill is only for rent. Tomorrow is the last day to get it, and I'm definitely starting to feel a little pressure from myself. After a good night's sleep, I woke up feeling pretty confident. I spent some time last night visualizing the trick, and I think I got it figured out now. While it felt good to bring it around to my feet, it was by no means up to my standards. And with a surprise snowstorm rolling in quickly, speed was getting harder and harder to carry. Not to mention this is my 5th straight day on snow, so muscle fatigue is becoming a factor. But since this is the last day of the trip, I'm hoping I will still be able to make it happen. After a couple more attempts, I got the trick around a few more times. But with the storm setting in, and my leg being dead at this point, having a beautiful frontside 720 on film remains to be an item on the bucket list. Maybe as winter goes on, and more mountains get their setups going, I will find another opportunity to go for it. But until that day comes, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.
Legends in another land.